Hi guys, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm, where my addiction is all over the internet. On this channel I do book hauls, book reviews, both physical and digital media, audiobooks, and so much more. So this is my final video for tonight. It's like 8:13 now, so I gotta get some stuff done before I head off to work. So happy Monday everybody. I hope all of you are going to have a good one. So, so I have an announcement to make, and I hate doing this particular announcement because you guys are going to still get Oathbringer videos, because I read the book and I pre-recorded all the videos, which, by the way, totally knocked me out and everything. So, I did the review of The Blade itself by Joe Abercrombie. And that, along with Oathbringer, really did it to me as far as fantasy is concerned. I am absolutely tired of reading fantasy. I mean, I know there's people that dedicate their entire channels to one particular genre, and that's all they read and everything. I even have one where I read horror, and that's great. But for me, Oathbringer and The Blade itself made me go, no, I don't want to read fantasy anymore. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, Oathbringer was a decent book, but after that and the other book, I was like, no, I do not want to read fantasy anymore. Or fantasy for right now. So my plan is to finish off the 2 fantasy books I have here. I've got, I believe, 2 more up there, and I've got 5 or 6 over there. So what I'm going to do is, every month I'm going to read 1 book from what I've got left, and then I will post the video. But once I have reached my final fantasy book, that's it. That's it, at least until December, when I can sit down and rethink about is fantasy really a genre that I really happen to like? And don't get me wrong, romantasy is, it's somewhat good. But with all the bullshit that is going through with, fantasy authors and people and all that, I'm like, you have just sucked out of all the joy out of fantasy. It's like this. It's like, you can't be a fan of a certain series without being called something. You can't, you got authors that tried to compete with another author, and they produced books that absolutely did not need to be as thick as it had been. I'm sorry, my mind cannot wrap around fantasy anymore, or none of that. And so that's also going to affect what kinds of books I write. Because if I'm writing a genre that I absolutely cannot stand, I probably will not make it a series. The only exception, of course, is what I've already wrote. But even that, I'm taking my time with, because I just am burnt out with fantasy. I don't want to, do not want to read any more fantasy after the books I've chosen are read. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. I will, however, read my horror and my cozy mysteries and my Nancy Drew and my Hardy Boys, because those are books that I thoroughly enjoy reading. Fantasy, no. I am not a fan of fantasy anymore, but yeah, just I'm not. The only exception to that particular I am not a fan of fantasy anymore is Jim Butcher, Simon R. Green, They write exceptionally well. They write in a way that makes you want to come back and read again. Now, I'm still going to read the second book in the Wheel of Time, but I am going to take my time with that book because on one end, I am not at all excited about reading it. On the other end, I would like to see how the story goes. But after that book, I will not be purchasing another Wheel of Time book until December, where I probably will not read that book until February of next year. I'm really not in a hurry to read the entire series. I was going to be like, oh, I'm going to read every book every month. And then I read Brandon Sanderson, and I am like, no. I'm not doing this at all. It's just, I'm like, people can read fantasy until the cows come home. Well, the cow came home for me. But yeah, so I'm going to finish the books that I already have chosen. I am going to read the rest of the Hunger Games. That is definitely something I will be doing, without a doubt. But other than that, I'm not buying any more. I'm not buying Robin Hobb. I'm not buying Brandon Sanderson. I do have a book coming in December, which I will go and I will still take possession of. But other than that, no more fantasy. I'm not buying them on ebook. I'm not buying them, none of that. Now, if it's a mystery with witches and stuff in it, that's one thing, because that's not pure fantasy. But other than that, no. I'm not buying any more fantasy books until I have the urge to pull one out. Alright, so I will see you guys next time. Bye.